We begin tonight with a major car crash shutting down I-696 in Warren, causing major backups all afternoon. And guess what? It's still closed right now.
Despite one car being completely demolished, we are told everyone survived. Fox 2's Ingrid Kelly with details.
It appears right now that for some unknown reason, one of the passengers of the Ford Fusion got out of the vehicle, exited the vehicle on the freeway.
As the passenger exited the vehicle, the driver of the semi-truck, also heading westbound on 696, had to act fast.
There was a semi-truck behind him that swerved to avoid this person, which resulted in a collision between the semi and the Ford Fusion.
The result of that collision is this mangled gray Ford Fusion, skid marks over 696, and a backup that lasted for miles as the section of 696 shut down as police investigated the incident.
Was the car in motion when this person got out, or had the car pulled over and the person got out?
We're not sure on that yet. The investigation's being conducted. Our people are working on it. We have our detectives working on it, and we're bringing in an accident reconstructionist from the state police to advise us on it as well.
The semi-truck involved in the incident is from DM International. The company told Fox 2 in a statement. Preliminary information suggests that the incident occurred when the driver of the four-wheeler lost control of its car and drove right into our semi-truck. Our driver is currently in the hospital, but it's our understanding that he did not sustain any injuries. As the investigation continues, police have this advice for drivers.
I would really encourage people just never get out of the vehicle on the freeway.
In Warren, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Well, the Warren police officer accused of assaulting an inmate now facing federal charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office charged Matthew Rodriguez with deprivation of rights under color of law. That's a 10-year civil rights violation. Rodriguez was originally charged by Macomb County officials, but that charge has since been dropped in the wake of federal charges. The 14-year veteran was fired last month following an internal investigation by the Warren Police Department. The department addressing this latest development earlier this afternoon.
It should send a clear message to those officers who defy their oath and the Constitution, contrary to the vast majority of law enforcement officers who carry out their duties and the difficult and dangerous duties that they have to carry out while protecting the citizens of this district every day, that they will be held accountable. They will be held accountable, those who violate this oath and the Constitution.
Warren police also addressing this latest development. Our Brandon Hudson is working that story. We'll have much more coming up tonight on Fox 2 News at 6.
And convicted sex offender Larry Nassar is stabbed multiple times after an altercation with another inmate at a prison in Florida. The Associated Press citing two sources reporting Nassar was stabbed in the back and the chest and is in stable condition. There are no details yet as to what led up to that attack, but Nassar was sentenced to decades in prison for sexually assaulting more than 100 gymnasts at Michigan State and USA Gymnastics. He also pled guilty to child porn charges. And breaking news into the Fox 2 newsroom, we've learned that Joanne Watson has passed away. Ms. Watson was born and raised in Detroit and was a member of the Detroit City Council for 10 years, from 2003 to 2013. A very vocal member as well. More recently, she was a pastor, a professor, and a media personality. She was also a member of Detroit's first reparations task force executive team. No word on her cause of death. Joanne Watson was 72.
She cared so deeply about the city of Detroit, didn't she? More sad news to pass along to you tonight. Michigan has lost a culinary legend and the matriarch of a well-known family. Dorothy Zender has died. The restaurateur died yesterday at her home in Frankenmuth. Zender was the co-founder of Frankenmuth's Bavarian Inn. The restaurant is now one of the largest in the country. Dorothy started working in the family's restaurants 85 years ago. She's also the author of cookbooks and has been a guest on our morning show time and time again. Dorothy Zender was 101 years old.
Wow, a long life, well lived. Detroit police are investigating an alleged attack on a woman in a Target parking lot Friday night. Take a look at these pictures of the suspect. The victim, well, she told police she was getting into her vehicle at the Coolidge Road location when a man forced open her door and punched her in the face. He also allegedly pulled out a gun, and the victim was able to fight him off until bystanders saw what was happening and ran to help. The suspect got away. Police are asking for any witnesses to please come forward.
A gunman barricades himself inside a house in southwest Detroit in the middle of the night.
Fortunately, he surrendered. There was no loss of life. Fox 2's Veronica Meadows with more on just what happened and the reaction from nervous neighbors.
Honestly, I'm speechless. Like, I don't know what to say about it. It's crazy.
People living in this Southwest Detroit neighborhood are shaken up after police surrounded their street early Monday morning. Detroit police say a man armed with a gun had a mental health crisis, barricading himself inside a home near Woodmere and Chamberlain.
I'm very concerned, you know, because it's really it's just a few houses down. I'm kind of worried because of our children and our children around here. And usually the children like come, you know, I usually play out here and everything.
The original 911 call came in for shots fired inside the home. Police say the gunman barricaded himself inside with family members, including several adults and a baby. Police say at one point the suspect came outside and fired at police.
Once they responded, they encountered him, and the individual took a shot at our officers in the police car with a bullet going through the windshield and right through the center of the seat.
After a terrifying 3 hours, the crisis response team, negotiators, and first responders got the man to surrender. While the man is now in custody and getting treatment, neighbors tell us they're still unsettled.
It's normally quiet. We don't really deal with things like that. I was so surprised. Because, like, it's never like this.
We are very grateful that this outcome came out as it did, because it could have been a lot worse.
Police tell us one person was grazed by a bullet. Now, if you or a loved one are struggling with mental health, we have resources for you on fox2detroit.com. I'm Veronica Meadows, Fox 2 News.
An absolutely gorgeous start to the week with plenty of sunshine out there.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier to get your work week started on a Monday. Weather authority Rich Luderman has our look at our forecast. And Rich, we had a little bit of rain here and there on the weekend, but you know, we were able to eke out some good hours.
Big time. Yesterday was nice, Amy, and today is beautiful. Certainly some very active weather across the UP with our next cold front, and then even more significantly, flooding rains, parts of New York State and Vermont into New Hampshire as well. For us, it's quiet night ahead. A lot of us are in the middle 80s. It was warm but not too hot today. It was a little humid but not oppressive. How about 84 in Grand Rapids, 85 for Bad Axe and for Mount Pleasant. Live pictures from Mount Clemens. That really tells the story. Just a few fair weather clouds, a nice little breeze. That's the Clinton River in the middle of the shot. For the rest of tonight, mostly clear, very mild on average. We're down to the middle 60s, and then you'll see late in the day tomorrow into Wednesday and Thursday, we have more rain chances, more humidity as well. How about a full check of the 7-day forecast coming up in 10.
Rocks were coming down, trees were coming down, it was heavy winds. You couldn't see in front of you because the rains were so heavy. It was really scary to actually be in it and then wake up to see this, where all the streets are just gone.
What a mess. Search and rescue teams from Michigan and other states are in the Northeast today, helping people affected by relentless rains and heavy flooding. Some areas getting 8 to 9 inches of rain in 15 hours, more than they typically get throughout an entire summer. Fox's Katie Byrne is in Highland Falls, New York, with a closer look.
It was coming down, rocks and debris were rolling down the road.
Heavy rain pummeling parts of the Northeast on Sunday, washing away roadways and triggering dozens of water rescues.
Look at the people's doors! Oh my God!
Deadly floodwaters swamped communities in New York's Hudson Valley, where forecasters say more than a half-foot of rain fell in just a few hours. Officials here say one woman drowned after she was swept away while trying to evacuate her home. The conditions catching many here off guard.
When I realized how serious it was, I called the fire department and I said, we need sandbags quick. Nobody came for hours, you know, so we just had to move the water in a different way.
Further south, flight delays and cancellations continued in Philadelphia on Monday after the severe weather impacted hundreds of flights over the weekend. Flood warnings remain in effect for communities throughout the region as rivers and creeks continue to rise. Folks are now surveying the damage and trying to recover whatever items they can.
My whole shed gone. I washed down the creek. I can't even find a Ford 8N farm tractor. And my riding mowers, everything gone. Disaster.
Forecasters say more than 40 million people are at risk of flooding through Tuesday as heavy rain once again threatens folks from North Carolina up through New England. Back here in New York, officials say this flooding has already caused millions of dollars in damage. In Highland Falls, New York, Katie Byrne, Fox Weather.